Alright, so continuing these drama blogs, it is April the 6th or 7th. It is 1 o'clock almost. So, 2018. So I just went and started my taxes. Went through all my receipts last night. It's raining, so it's been nice weather. I've been trying to figure out what I want to talk about. I was thinking about it last night, and then tonight or today, just got a coffee. I found some those stamp cards, and I had 10 of them, so I got my coffee, Dutch Brothers coffee. What's interesting about this is it's weird how, you know, I went through my receipts and there was like ones from 2015, and so I've been keeping receipts for like years and years. It's 2018, so that's like 3 years ago. So I've been trying to learn how to do my taxes for my business, small business stuff, artist stuff. So that is a process, but it's, you know, I've been also going through like what's happening is, okay, so I've been in Oroville since 2000, or since the beginning of this year, 2018. I've been making these blogs since last year, these drama blogs or whatever, and the idea, I'm going through all my stuff in storage. I'm going back to the Bay Area to go to work, and it's funny or weird because it's because what do you call it? Because keeping all this stuff, you know, like all this stuff from my life, you know, like all this old stuff that I'm sorting through and organizing, and you know, brings back memories where, you know, it goes through my whole life. Like I found stuff from Alaska when I went to Alaska and Montana. I found an old ID from Montana, stuff I've been keeping and then figuring out what I want to get rid of. But it was weird because I found letters from old friends and girlfriends, and, you know, and then photographs of my family, you know, and like old friends maybe that are not your friend. I don't know, it's weird. It's like different lives that you know, different lifetimes in one lifetime. So it's, you know, going through these taxes is a similar thing. Kind of being loud because it's raining, so I don't know if I'm too loud on here. So all this stuff at the same time, it's like trying to sort through my brain to make these blogs, because I know there's a lot to say that I have yet to say, but yet I don't know which is. I've already exhausted the beginner stuff of what I want to, you know, just laying down some foundations of some important stuff that I need to talk about, or set some stuff, correct some misconceptions. But so the last blog was 36 and this is 37, but there's more videos because I have to cut in, and then there's ones that are not even real drama blogs or whatever. So at the same time, I've been doing my art, which is and man, I keep getting, you know, obviously see my haircuts. So I got a haircut from the last haircut, and I was trying to grow it out, and so I cut the sides off, and I had it growing out long, but it was just taking too long, and I gotta go do normal jobs and stuff. So I was like, you know what, I can't take the time to fix do my hair and whatever, let it grow out. So I just cut it off again. I'm gonna still have the same kind of style haircut that I want. It's kind of long in the back, not long in the back, but it's not short in the back. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. So, but it's funny because you know people want to comment on my haircut, and it's funny. I made a blog or art blog, and I have a double chin going on. I've been having this going on for a few years already. I don't know how long, how many years, but I was like, I don't know. I was like, so, but it showed it from the side, and it looks pretty bad. I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna post this anyway. It's to that level where, man, you know, like we're in this world where people just trying to outdo each other. Then I saw a video blog on Adderall, or not a video blog, I saw a documentary on Netflix about Adderall. So learning, it's just like I said, I've always been an observer, so I've been observing my culture, my time frame of the life, you know, like what we're doing. Through all my whole life I've been doing it. So being the center of attention has been part of my life too, but to this other level where now I'm the bad guy or whatever, or I've been the bad guy. I don't know. It's just weird life is weird, I'm sure, for a lot of people, not just me, but it's to this other level where normal people are famous. Like, you know, you don't have to do anything special. Where somebody was saying where you know, people that comment, they comment about like people that did shit, you know, like famous people that actually accomplished something, people that, you know, like Will Smith. You can talk about Will Smith, or you can talk about I don't know, somebody, not politicians, but just like celebrities, I guess, or, you know, like Tesla, Elon Musk, or whatever. And these people that basically everybody has a say, like they can seem important even if they're just sitting at home and not doing shit with their life, but yet they can comment on somebody else. Is like they can have an opinion on their opinion on the internet. They can post their little sentence or paragraph or whatever on a comment about Conor McGregor or whatever, whoever it is, somebody nice, somebody not nice, whatever it is. Somebody was saying this about like, I forgot what it was relevant towards, but it was like something like, you know, even if somebody saves like a cat from a tree, or saves, you know, somebody from a burning house or whatever it is, there's somebody that's gonna go on there negative or say something and try to like take away from somebody else's accomplishment or whatever, or try to say something funny about someone, or, you know. So we live in this era where it's like these people never had a say so, really. Like the masses always have a say so because they're the masses, but, you know, it wasn't like you know, anybody heard an individual, like somebody that has the same person opinion that actually does something, that accomplishes something great in life or whatever, is equivalent to this person that hasn't done shit with their life, and those two people can post something about like news, like you see stuff on the news and they'll have an opinion, oh, kill those people, or oh, you know, whatever. They just start debating on our Facebooks or whatever, and it's like who the hell, like, first of all, who has time to be posting on fucking YouTube videos, like, especially negative shit that has nothing to do with you. Anyway, I don't know what I'm ranting on, but it's just funny because that's the era that I live in, and these videos are made. I'm making these, so it's just this weird balance of the normal person having a voice, even, but then it's like, what do you do with that voice? Like, what are you doing with it? Like, I guess it is what it is. But so we can make content, or we can. I had a family friend. He's making these video blogs where he's being motivational blogs, and it's cool. It's like, all right, that's actually pretty good. You see him a lot, but I like him. I personally like him. So that's something helpful for people. But when you just go on there just to get your negative energy out, and you haven't did anything with your life, or if you don't do enough positive. But I guess it's like there's a balance to this nature thing. I know it, like, so I don't know what it is exactly, but I know there is a reason. They call it the chaos effect, where everything seems random and chaotic, but yet it turns the pattern is a pattern. There's a pattern to it, and I don't know. So so I'm pretty sure, kind of like numbers, like when 2 plus is 4, and then 8, and there's a geometrical pattern to this seemingly chaotic world. So I've been observing this stuff for my whole life. It's been big. It's been I don't know what it means, but so it's interesting to keep seeing it. And man, there's just, like I said, there's way too much stuff I want to say. I'm trying to figure out what I want to go through my life, as far as kind of get people an idea, because it seems there's a lot of random people in my world that are interested in my world, that have come into my world and criticize my world, or like it's like that hello crazy. So when I talk about social media and all those whatever, like technology, like it's affected me particularly because I've used it to promote my art, but now my life story has been involved in this, and not just my life story, but my privacy and all this stuff. So however that happened, it doesn't matter. What matters is that it is, my family, all this stuff. So my haircuts seem to be important to people, and I think the underlying reason is because there is something. People are looking for patterns, but they're looking for magic, meaning to the world. What is the meaning to the world? Which I've been looking at for. So it's kind of like this weird thing where you attract what you put out into the world. And so if you're a very judgmental person, you're going to receive that similar energy eventually. It's going to come back to you. So trying to understand that myself has been interesting. So same thing with so magic or whatever, the unseen stuff, the stuff that is I've been dealing with it because people see stuff in my art that is relevant to them. But it's weird because sometimes I see it too. I'm like, oh, whoa, I see it through somebody else's eyes. Like, I'm painting it, so I know what I'm trying to say most of the time at the beginning. But I've used my art or my paintings or my music or whatever as mostly storytelling, but I've been pretty free flowing with it. So it's weird and interesting to see patterns in it that are different than what I intended, and other people and so it's a question of, does that same song or that same painting, that does it change meaning? Like if I paint King Kong and you know, the old King Kong movie with on top of the tower, whatever the tower that was, does that change if I painted it during that time, or do I paint it 10 years later or 100 years later? Like, the meaning of that painting, people will see different things in the different time frames depending on what their viewpoint is, or what the agendas of their time, or the politics of their time. So that's kind of where I'm like, okay, well, people will see what is in their mind, what people put in their mind. So the media has been putting stuff in people's mind, Hollywood or whatever. You know, they always have agenda, and I've been trying to balance my own mind, trying to understand that, you know, like trying to understand, well, you know, like we're all playing a part in this world, whether you're rich or you're poor, you're black or you're white, you're whatever, man or woman, like we're all old, young, like we all have a role that we're born into and our society puts us in. So, you know, I've always been pretty rebellious, whether that's my upbringing or a choice or literature I've read or whatever it is. You know, I have my personality and my nature, nurture stuff. So, trying to see the pattern in my time, and you know, technology, like history repeats. So being interested in politics, world politics, economic politics, art, business, you know, social justice issues, current events, like whatever it is, you know, I've been looking at, you know, and now I'm part of it, you know, I'm part of these topics, and through people I don't know and things that I don't. It's been really interesting to feel like, you know, you're part of current events. So I don't know, you know, and like I said, I really feel the real underlying issue with all this is not because of the role, it's not because the things that I really feel humanity is looking for something that, you know, it's lost its religion, so to speak. So it's trying to find something to understand, and you know, I was involved in that too with all this information. We're all trying to rethink what reality is, and like there's so much information that it's changing our reality of what is real or whatever. Like not what is real, but what is you know, our conscious or our unconscious group, our group mind, or along with, you know, our values as humans, like with religion, or like trying to figure out our morals in a world where it's post-industrial tech world. We're living in this future world, even though it hasn't come in total fruition of what we thought it was, but it's still there. Like it's like this change. We're in a change of we're in the middle. We're in this middle group of you know, having trains or not having trains, you know, having cars, not having cars. Like now it has to do with mass information being available to everyone in the world. So the whole world is is dealing with this. Like every country and all the citizens, they're all regrouping and trying to figure out what the next reality is for them. So I think we're all coming out of that the cocoon stage, where we're now in the world, figuring out how we're going to use this information, what we're going to do with this information. And the government has been doing that too, where they're trying to figure out how to use this 1984 information. They have profiles on people, they have like, all this stuff on people's lives, and what their likes are, what their extracurricular activities are, pretty much like if they're in the Klan or if they're not in the Klan, or if they're left wing, right wing, all the stuff that Facebook absorbs from everybody, YouTube, all that stuff. So they're trying to figure out, like they don't know, like people don't know, normal people are hell chaotic and crazy. Like, this is the reality that I realize myself, is that people are always going to want drugs. People are always going to fucking have prostitution. People are always going to want this crazy shit, because that's humans do this crazy shit. Not to say that I condone any of it, like I don't mind putting my shit out there and saying, hey, this is what I do, or whatever. And it does piss me off that people will take that shit without your consent, without your saying, hey, yeah, fucking, secretly videotaping you or getting your information or whatever, following you around. That shit's not cool. So however I don't believe that they think, I don't know. I'm gonna go through some of this other stuff, but at the moment, the overall thing is what I believe is more important than what other people perceive about my life and my situation. Obviously, other people's opinions and perceptions matter, because they affect your way you have to proceed in the world. You gotta respect your environment. Understand, you gotta move, you gotta live in your environment, but you can affect your environment in the way that how you want to fit into this world to a certain point. And that's where Conor McGregor stuff comes in, because it's like, he was like talking about how he used to visualize stuff, and that's some of the, they call it new age stuff or whatever, but that stuff's in the Bible too. It's like, what you think is important, just as important as what you do. And if you've ever read the Bible, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that is the truth. That is the reality of it. Like, you can live in this world for so long, and how you control your mind is important. But there's also the other thing, like where people are demonizing sex. Like, America's always been known for that. Like, oh, they're prudish, they don't want to, they're weird about being naked, but yet, they'll show movies and stuff about killing hundreds of people and all this crazy shit, but they're worried about nipples, women's nipples or whatever. And it's like, and I've never been there. I never, I don't see sex as a negative, evil thing, but whatever, like, I'm not going to get into that right now, because that's a whole nother conversation. That has not yet even, that's one of the things, just like racism. It's like, you can have a viewpoint, but doesn't mean that everybody's going to agree with you or whatever. But sex is something that is natural. It could get perverted, it could get, distorted or whatever. So I'm not saying anything like that, but I'm just saying, it's, people got to realize humans are humans in the way where, people want to um, control the masses in a way where you're like drugs. Like, you can make drugs illegal, but people like them, and the government has fucking, makes money off of it, whether it's legal drugs or illegal drugs, like heroin. It's like, okay, dude, like, how do we know that they have poppy fields over in Afghanistan and whatever, in Iraq or whatever, and coke comes through through the government. It's like, everyone's using it. All these high profile people are using it. So it's, and then I just watched a documentary on Netflix about Adderall. It's like, yeah, we all know, well, now I know, I didn't know about Adderall, but these products that are made, it's kind of like meth, but a lower form meth. But all these rich people are using it for their kids to get better grades, to concentrate, and to like go through college, or like everybody's using. So now all these information's coming out to the normal people. You can watch a Netflix show, not have to catch it on TV, or not have to like get a special podcast or radio show and hear it, or have some secret. I'm sure there's a lot of information that is not available to the public, but there's these other issues that are really relevant to people, that are getting out to people. Like, there's still the debate about if people if immunization, whatever that's called, causes autism. That's a debate. Some people don't believe it, but it's a debate where some people do believe it, where forced immunization is a negative. So there's this weird, of course nobody wants smallpox or whatever, like, but nobody wants their kid to have autism either, without proof that they need to get that vaccinations, forced vaccinations, And then there's the homeless stuff. There's so much stuff going on. War, like, there's always war. All these things that are always going to happen are still happening. But yet, this is our era that we're dealing with. My hair's getting fuzzy. So yeah, so there's things that are going on, other than, like, I could talk about my life personally, but I live in this world, so it's not even, you will understand what I'm saying about myself when you understand my viewpoint about the world. And no, I'm not, like, we live in this crazy ass world. Like, this lady just went and shot up YouTube, supposedly. Like, most of this stuff, I'm like, okay, I don't even know if I believe it. It's crazy, off the wall, crazy stuff. Like, McGregor just went through some stuff through some bus window or whatever. Did he? Probably. I mean, he did, but was it made up, or was it not? I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Do I care? I care because, I watch the UFC, so it's, like, interesting to me. But do I really, really care? No, not really. Do I care if in Russia and China, and if there's gonna be a war or whatever? I care because, yeah, like, I don't want to starve or get blown up or whatever, without knowing. So, do I believe it? I don't know. Do I believe that there was always going to be a war that's pending or whatever? Yeah, through history it shows in America, since the birth of America, there's always been war going on here and there. So, does it concern me to more important than my normal life? No. But at the same time, you gotta think about oil prices and all that stuff. You gotta drive. So there's normal life, and there's, like, the life of the world around you. So bettering myself is the utmost important. Explaining myself is not important, but I live in this world, so I have to explain myself, because it's a form of offense and defense in this world. We're fighting. We were born in this world. If you want something in this world, in this reality, in this time frame, you got to go out. And probably all throughout time, throughout human existence, nature. It's a competitive world in general. Taking Adderall and enhancements, brain enhancements, or body enhancements, is part of the reality. Being born with a badass car and all this stuff, and then being born with nothing. Like, you still got to go out there and compete. Like, so there's, what's weird is the more I achieve, the more better I do, the more I get this people that want to criticize me viciously. So I live in this very vicious reality and so I'm fighting these people, and I already have my own, hang-ups or whatever about groups of people and whatever, so I'm trying to fix myself in my brain so that my reality is better, and think positive and all, learn stuff I never learned, or implement things. Like, I want to even start meditation, but then you got family members or whatever that are like religious, that are like, I don't want, self-proposed Christians that that would probably see that as a bad thing. So I got people like going through my artwork and my paintings that are like, "Ooh, what does that mean?" And it's weird because the truth is, through my own life, my whole life, like I've been saying deja vu stuff and premonitions or whatever it is, I see dead people or red rum or whatever it is, there is a reality to this stuff. How deep you want to get into it is something that I grew up where it's pretty, I chose not to go into it because I do feel, there's some stigma and some fear, or there, not playing with Ouija boards and stuff, or that's something that I was born with, that my family and culture looked down on that, and I'm still there. I don't like it. I don't want to feed into this energy that I don't know what it is, where it's from, or what it is, or if it's negative. That's not something that I want to do anything about. I do go to, I pray, and I went to church, and I, read the Bible. So there's, I am praying to the unknown, unseen or whatever, but like, it's Bible-based stuff. So, it's weird because it's like, people get to choose who they pray to or their God, so there's all this stuff about all, religion and belief systems. And so as a man, everybody's got to choose for themselves of what they believe and then how they carry themselves in this world. Fighting, these witch hunts, like, so these people have been using Adderall. It's like, okay, well, do you use Adderall or not? Like, to get enhanced, to compete in this world? Or do you meditate to calm in the world where everything is coming at you in your brain? Like, do you need time to rest? How do you do that? Unplug, they call it. So, we're all dealing with this stuff at this moment. But what's different for me is, as an artist, I do, as a creator, like, we all, like, that's, I think, is one of the important things that we deal with, is having an open mind to shared consciousness. Like, So if I write a song, or if I, like people that create like inventions, like they'll have an idea that just comes to them and they're like, oh, and they'll work through it, make the light bulb. And then there's somebody else in the world that wanted to make a light bulb. Oh, hey, you know, they both had the same idea. They don't know each other, they never talk to each other, but yet they both want to make a light bulb at the same time, in the same year, in the same style. So that's the interesting thing with art and being in the creative world, where you're not just working every day and not thinking about it. You're actually trying to pull from this idea, like, oh, where do I, you know, how do I make a computer, or how do I explain what's going on in the society today, you know? How do I talk about love or death or war? Like, how do you, like Bob Dylan, when he wrote his song, like they used to always ask him, what the hell, where does this come from? What does it mean? Because they're afraid of the past. Because the same stuff that happened in the past is happening today. So they're worried about dragons and aliens and stuff. So it's like the same shit that they've been worrying about for hundreds of years. There's humans are still worried about this shit. They're still worried about kingdoms and like all the shit that happened thousands of years ago. So that's where I'm getting to the point of like, okay, what the patterns are the same patterns that happened before. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. So anyway, so that's some of my art stuff that I personally have been dealing with people. People are trying to turn my art into what they're perceiving, the story that somebody else made up, somebody else injected it into people's minds. So it's a form of war play, or a competition of all the stuff. Like somebody can just inject it and have a loudspeaker and say, you know, like, hey, you know, and this goes cultural. This goes hundreds of years, you know. So if I'm saying, hey, you know, Aztec culture, Mexican, my ancient culture, part of my family lineage, if I don't believe that they, you know, sacrificed stuff that the Europeans have said that the natives have done, but yet when the natives did their rain dancing or whatever, like hell got crazy and they started killing people, killing Native Americans and stuff. So it's like that level. If you're not part of the group, the popular group, or you know, the group that's in power that wants to suppress, you know, like if you're Jewish and you're in Germany during the World War II age, you know, it might not be safe to be, hey, I'm Jewish, and talk some shit. You might get shot. So same thing with being a Native American stuff in America around this time, is like, you know, they're still scared of it. They still fear it. They still fear the Native American uprising. They don't want brown, like this. They fear me because of that, because I'm not totally conforming to, you know, I'm like some Malcolm X guy that like grew up with white folks, but you know, have spoken up against it and spoken up against racism. I don't know much about, I'm not Muslim, I'm not like as radical as Malcolm X. I don't think, you know, people try to take words, I don't know what they put out into the world about me, but there's some just I'm just a normal person that, like, you know, that's talented. I've done my shit. I put my time in. I'm not just, it's not talent. I've actually put a lot of work into this. So yeah, I have power in my abilities in art and whatnot, you know. But it's a combination of being charismatic or good looking or whatever they fear the people around in your environment, like, and this is small town stuff, like, happens to everybody. Doesn't mean just because I'm brown or whatever, that is just part of it, but that's not really the reality of it. The reality of it is every person that's ever done anything great, no matter what, in their own little environment. That's why they say this, small fish in a big, or big fish in a small pond. They want to, you know, compare themselves to you, so they need to bring you down so that they can feel better about themselves. But these are the people that don't do shit. These are the people that don't better themselves, so they have to try to go buy the Inquirer and read about celebrities and talk shit about celebrities so that they can feel better about their lives. Which, you know, the thing is, we're all here. We're all, like, whether you're a teacher, whether you're Coca-Cola, there's a Coca-Cola truck driver over there, you know, working gas station, coffee maker, you're like a college student, whatever you are, whatever your job is, like homeless, president, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, we're here. What matters is life is tough. You don't know what's gonna happen to you, and when you're a kid until when you grow up. Like, you don't know where your life is gonna take you. What you do have control of is how you deal with it, because you're gonna get a pile of shit. People think that people that criticize me have tried to demean everything that I've done so that they can say, oh, he hasn't done shit. But they know the opposite is the truth. They know I've fucking accomplished so much from what I've started with. It hasn't been perfect, and I've come from I've realized this now, that I've been pretty critical of the people around me as well. So I know why I'm getting criticized so much is because I've criticized, whether it's, you know, whatever it is, family or environment or whatever, you know, you call people racist.